Hello, Wheeling Wildcats. Welcome back to another episode of WCAT News. We have the news here for the week of May 24th. We have a little bit of a tribute to our seniors. I got some footage of our parade that we're going to include. We have Stuck at Home Sports with Ethan. We have Weather Time with Jeremy, and a couple other little things for you guys this week. And we will actually be continuing throughout the summer. It just kind of depends on timing and whatnot. We're going to start getting some maybe different segments going in there as we have some more outdoor activity possibilities for everyone. So stay tuned for that, and make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can make sure that you see every single week's video. And then we will have some other videos maybe coming out too. So here is Ethan with Stuck at Home Sports.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Stuck at Home Sports. I'm Ethan, and before we get into the sports news, and for those who haven't noticed, yes, I have officially graduated Wheeling High School. 4 years and I'm finally free, as I've finally got my certificate right here with proof that I have graduated Wheeling High School. And Wednesday I got to go on a parade, say goodbye to all my teachers, and have all the fun. And for those who are worried about me ending this segment anytime soon because I graduate, no, we're going to be continuing it throughout the summer and for as long as possible before I have to go off to college, where I will be going to Butler University, where I'll be studying sports media and continuing doing some cool sports-related activities like this, and hopefully in my dreams make it ESPN. But speaking of college, the NCAA has officially announced that they are going to reopen. That's right. On Friday, the NCAA announced that athletes from every sport will finally be allowed to voluntarily do practice on campus starting June 1st. This means with the athletes finally returning to campus to practice and get back into shape, that there is a very good chance for fall sports and for people like me to actually have a chance to make it on campus my freshman year. Besides that, though, this has really been huge news because it's sparked a bit of positivity throughout the sports world and making everyone happy that there might actually be a chance for sports in the fall. Moving on, though, to our final Last Dance review. Sadly, this is our last LDR on this channel and forever, because The Last Dance has finally come to an end after episodes 9 and 10 officially came out last Sunday. And these episodes were huge. It talked about Steve Kerr's relationship with his father and how it was similar to Michael Jordan's, with all their the sad disappearances, and how that mentality carried over to the basketball court, and how the two really recognized each other as friends more than foes after their fight in the episodes prior. They talked about Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers, where Miller gave MJ and the Bulls a scare during their 1998 Last Dance run that they had in the Eastern Conference Finals, when they took them to a Game 7, which had only been the second time they had ever done so in their 2 3-peats in their dynasty basically they had, which is crazy to think they only went to a Game 7 twice, with this Miller one only being the second time, only in 1998, which is wild. But the Bulls would eventually win, and which would lead to the final Last Dance of the championship, where the Bulls would finally face the Utah Jazz for the second time, where they will talk about Karl Malone, the mailman, and John Stockton, and how those two were just going at it, and eventually the flu game, the MJ's flu game, and how he called it a pizza food poisoning that he had. So these episodes were super, super great, and they put the cherry on top of this entire series. And there's just really nothing else to say other than just go watch the darn documentary. Now that it's over, you could start over and watch episodes 1 to 10 and really learn more about MJ. But for the final time, if you don't believe me, why don't you listen to some of my peers?
What's up, guys? It's Matthew with the Last Dance review, and something that I've always wanted to say about this series is that MJ proved why he was the GOAT with the Last Dance. We saw his whole career from when he started back in the mid-'80s to 1998 with the Chicago Bulls, and winning 6 championships with Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and a whole array of other players. He led teams to so many championships, and the incredible runs that he went on through his whole career cannot be ignored. He was a true king, and as good as LeBron is, no one will ever top Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I think the last 2 episodes were really good. I think it kind of solidifies Jordan as the GOAT. If he wasn't solidified before, he definitely is now. It kind of shows the payoff from all the stuff that he went through, and it kind of just shows that Jordan is the best of all time.
Hello everyone, Mr. Reinhardt here with my review on The Last Dance. So I did end up watching all 10 episodes now, and for me it was an experience that I never got the chance to have before. I was a very young kid. I was actually born the year that Jordan took his year off from basketball and started playing baseball. For that year and a half he was out from the NBA. So it was cool to see actual gameplay of the great Michael Jordan that everyone talks about all the time. And obviously being a Bulls fan myself, it was cool seeing I guess the Bulls actually competing in the finals and actually competing in the playoffs since they went into the rebuild phase in '98. We're kind of still in that phase. So it was cool to see that dynasty in action, and it was obviously awesome to hear from the players now, 20-something years later from the original gameplay.
Good morning, Wildcats. This is Coach Weeder reporting for WCAT Sports. My final takes from The Last Dance were that no question Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Not only is he the GOAT of basketball, but he is the GOAT of meme making after this documentary. One of my favorite stories from episode 9 was before game 5, the 5 guys coming to bring him a pizza, and we find out that the flu game is actually a food poisoning attempt by some Utah Jazz fans. He says he ate the whole pizza, and then the internet wins with the whole "I ate the whole pizza" meme. So not only is Michael Jordan the GOAT of basketball, but he's the GOAT of memes. My final take from The Last Dance is that I wish the last image we saw of Michael Jordan was the game-winning shot he hit in Game 6 in 1998 at Utah. I wish Michael Jordan would have retired a Chicago Bull, and I wish he would have had the chance to go for 7 rings. Jerry Krause kind of took that away from us, and I did not like, as a fan of the Chicago Bulls, that Michael Jordan ended up going back and retiring with the Washington Wizards. As a 14-year-old student, I kind of, always felt a little bitter about, Michael Jordan not retiring as a Chicago Bull. So my final take is I wish Michael Jordan would have had the chance to go for number 7 with the Chicago Bulls, and that last shot, we see him fading away, making that game-winning shot over Byron Russell.
Thank you to everyone who submitted a video to our final episode of The Last Dance. It sucks that this series is over, but at least we only have to wait 1 year for the Tom Brady and LeBron James documentaries to come out. But besides that, thank you all for tuning in to Stuck at Home Sports. I'm Ethan, and I will now send it over to Jeremy Cohen for Weather Time.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Cohen, and it's Weather Time.
It's Weather Time with Jeremy Cohen.
Thank you,
Ethan.
Thank you for tuning in to Weather Time. My name is Jeremy Cohen, and I am very excited to report this week's weather of May 24th, 2020. All right, now let's flood into the weather report. Now, I got some tubular news for you guys because it looks like it's going to hit the 80s this week. Memorial Day is going to look beautiful. We got clear skies, a high of 87, a low of 70. Perfect range for a nice socially distanced barbecue. Now, it looks like we're going to have similar weather, a little on the chillier side at the end of the week. But what we got to worry about is the middle of the week, because it looks like there's going to be scattered thunderstorms and a high percent chance of rain. Now, that kind of leads us into our next topic, flash flood report. This past week, there has been a series of flash flood warnings in the northern Chicago suburbs area. The Des Plaines Rivers has flooded, and other neighborhood areas has also overflowed. And it's just kind of a situation where I hope everybody is staying safe and hopefully nobody is too affected with like the power outages or any trees coming out or stuff like that. But thankfully last week was National Safe Boating Week, which is perfect in those high waters. All right, thank you for tuning in to Weather Time. My name is Jeremy Cohen. Have a wonderful week. Happy Memorial Day. Stay safe, stay indoors. Try not to swim in the high rain waters, and